Hello everyone, and welcome to my NES collection. I wouldn't really call this revisited, because there was never an original one to begin with, so we'll just go ahead and get started with our old pal, the NES. The NES was actually released October 18th, 1985, so it's quite a bit older than I am, actually. It sold approximately 61.91 million units, which is an insane number if you think about it. And then it was discontinued, actually, in August of 1995 in the United States. But, fun fact, it actually wasn't discontinued in Japan until 2003. Like, I can't even imagine. That's crazy life for something like this. With just a basic D-pad to start and select an A and B button. In Japan, they kept it going, the Famicom, until 2003. That's nuts. Anyway, we have 9 games here, so not the biggest collection, but, you know, it's a nice start for these videos. Basically encompassing most of the must-owns for this console, but we will go ahead. These are in alphabetical order, as will all of the video game collections. Alright, first up we have a great puzzle game, Dr. Mario. It was actually released on July 27th, 1990. Pretty reasonably late into the lifespan of the NES, actually. But it's a really fun little puzzle game. You know, when I first played this, I was expecting more like Tetris because of how much Tetris I had played at the time. So I had a lot of problems getting into this game or being able to do anything in this game. And watching my friends laugh at me particularly was pretty funny. But otherwise, I actually really enjoy this game, and I should play it more than I actually do. Really good puzzle game. Worth a check out on whatever consoles that it's on other than this one. I know it's on a couple other ones. Then we have one of the hardest games of all time, Ghosts and Goblins. Ghosts and Goblins was released in November of 1986 in the United States. You know, this game is completely absurd. Not only is it incredibly difficult, but you have to beat the game twice in order to get the ending, which is absolutely insane. You know, it's actually a pretty fun game other than the insane amount of challenge involved in beating it. And even by today's standards, to me, I think the game looks really good. But really good game. Capcom knew what they were doing back in the day. Then we move on to the first game in my all-time favorite franchise, The Legend of Zelda. Now, The Legend of Zelda was released on February 21st, 1986 in the United States. Well before I was born. Well, not well before, I was 4 years, but you know, I'm ashamed to admit that I haven't really played a lot of this game. I mean, I've watched it and I've seen it a lot. I played it a bit, but like the older 8-bit Zeldas are just kind of difficult for me to get into. But I do respect the hell out of this game and what it did for the video game market and for video games in general. Just the innovation and everything that this game did for video games as a whole. You know, this console as a whole, what it did for video games. But this game in particular, I can't say I don't like it, because if this game didn't do so well, you know, the games I truly love wouldn't exist. So I can't help but appreciate the hell out of this game. Now, this is actually the gray cartridge. I know there is also a gold cartridge, but I just wanted the game, so I'm not too upset about that. If I can find the gold cartridge for a reasonable price, I will buy it, just so I have both. And there will be more on that coming at the end of the video, with obviously what you should expect. If you know what's on the NES, you'll know what the last video, or the last game in this video is going to be. But I love this game. I respect the hell out of it. Then we go on to another Capcom game, Mega Man 3. Mega Man 3 was released September 28th, 1990. So about 2 weeks before I was born, this game came out. Now, I am ashamed to admit that I haven't really played this game a lot. The only Mega Man game I even reasonably know you aren't going to see until the PS1 collection, So unfortunately, I don't have a lot to say about this game. I really bought it just so I could have an old school Mega Man game, and I hadn't seen it in stores or in any retro game stores anywhere, and it just finally popped up in one of them. So I'm like, I'm just going to seize this opportunity and buy it, and I did. And again, just like Zelda, even though I haven't really played it, I respect the hell out of this game. And like I said earlier, Capcom knew what the hell they were doing. They really did. Then we go on to a board game port. What? Monopoly. The only information about this game I could find was that it was released in 1991, so it is the newest game that I have, technically, for the NES. But, you know, it's Monopoly. There's really not much you can say about it. Then we go on to a nice little fun combo cart here. This is the Mario Brothers Duck Hunt combo cart. Now, as far as I could find for this cartridge, it was released in November of 1988. There's actually no way to know when the original Super Mario Brothers came out in North America. It can't be tracked like the actual regular cartridge. And then Duck Hunt was like the year before. It was like in 1987. But anyway, Mario Brothers Duck Hunt. I would like to get the original, just the basic Mario cartridge at some point. But Duck Hunt is a fun little light gun game. Really, really cool. And a lot of fun to play, and a lot of people played it in their childhood. But moving on to Mario Brothers, you know, I said Zelda revolutionized video games, but I can't say anything will even remotely come close to what Super Mario Brothers, this game here, did. Back in the late 70s, early 80s, there was a huge video game crash, and Mario saved video games, basically. He is the reason video games even exist as a whole. Video games would not be a home market. None of this would be possible if it weren't for this game. So there are no words that anybody can ever express that can basically, I don't know, explain the importance behind like how important this game is. But while it isn't my favorite Mario game, I respect it a whole hell of a lot, and it's still really fun even now. Like, it's still really fun. I mean, all of the old Marios are, if you think about it. But really, really fun game, and, you know, it's great. It's Mario. You know, there's really not much you can say about that. And moving on to more Mario. We got Mario 2, or Super Mario Brothers 2. Now, funny thing about this was released on October 9th, 1988. My birthday is October 9th. But this game's 2 years older than me, so I am holding a cartridge that is 2 years older than me. Well, in North America at least. So, who knows if this was manufactured in Japan or anything, but I don't know. That said, the patent pending, made in Japan, I don't know. But this game came out in America 2 years before I was born, exactly. So, I actually really enjoy this game, even though it isn't the Japanese Mario 2. This is actually a lot of people know this, but it's actually an English port of a Japanese game called Doki Doki Panic, or that's the shortened name for it. Now, I actually learned while researching some of these games, specifically this one, that Doki Doki Panic was actually meant to be a Mario game at first to begin with, but then it became Doki Doki Panic, and then in America, because everybody thought what became the Lost Levels when it was released in America, the Japanese Mario 2, was going to be too hard for English audiences, they basically made Doki Doki Panic into a Mario game anyway for this, and this is the American Mario 2. And in Japan, this is actually known as Super Mario USA. I actually really like this game. I love the mechanics. I love what they changed, and I almost wish they would make a new Mario game kind of in the style of this a little bit, because it would be kind of cool. You can't lie, because the differences between this and every other Mario game, it's crazy. But an all-time classic, even though it's completely different than the rest of them. I really enjoy this game. Then we go on to the final Mario game, and the only Mario game that I have in a sleeve, because I have the box for it. Super Mario Bros. 3. Super Mario Bros. 3 was released February 9th, 1990, And boy, did this game blow everything else out of the water. I mean, come on. This is probably the best Mario game on the console. I've played it quite a bit. I mean, I've never really beaten the whole thing. My girlfriend probably knows more about this game because she plays it on like a yearly basis. But boy, do I respect this game and what it did as a whole for not only Mario, but everything. I mean, it took what Mario 1 had done and took it a step further. I mean, the Tanuki suit is great, and there's the frog suit, the hammer suit, and a bunch of other stuff that I don't remember right now. But I got lucky and found this in the box. I'm not going to get the box out because it's on my display shelf, and I just don't really feel like doing that right now. But boy, do I love this game. I'd put it up there as one of my favorite Mario games, period. I don't know if I would call it my absolute favorite Mario game, but it's still really, really good, and I respect it, and it's fun, and it's great. And then finally, a game you were probably all expecting considering I had the first one, we have Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link, which was released on January 14th, 1987 in the United States. Now, like I said with Legend of Zelda, I can't get into the 8-bit Legend of Zeldas, so I haven't really played this one too extensively, and it's even more different than the first game. It's side-scrolling and RPG-ish, kind of Final Fantasy-esque if you think about it, because you have to select your spells and all that. But it introduced Dark Link, who is pretty much a series staple now, so I can't help but respect it, and it is still a good game, and I do intend to play all of the Zeldas that I haven't played, whether it be a video series on YouTube or a live stream, or I just sit down and play with my friends and my girlfriend or something. I will play it eventually. And like the original Legend of Zelda, the cartridge came in 2 different colors, gray and gold. And I have the gold one, and like with the Legend of Zelda, if I find the other one, I will probably pick it up just to have both. I don't know yet. But I love this game. I can't help but respect it because, it's Zelda. And that is it for my NES collection. And the next console that was released in North America that I own is the original Game Boy. So the next video will be my original Game Boy collection, just regular Game Boy. See you guys then. Bye-bye.